Bang! Neeves Knives, I'm Jared, and today I'm going through 5 knives and letting you guys know how I really feel about them. What I really think about these knives. Now, this is not one of the 5. This is the new REMETTE budget knife that I recently featured on the channel. And I forgot to let you guys know that I have a discount code I have a discount code, but if you buy multiple, you can actually get an even bigger discount, like up to like 25% off or something if you buy more than 3. Something like that. I have it linked all down in the description, but if you buy one, you can get 15% off 1 or 2 or something like that, and then the more you buy, the bigger the percentage. Like I said, everything linked down in the description. I just figured I'd let you guys know that because I wasn't able to tell you guys that before. So the first knife on the list is this Vargo or Varga SOBATA, the 398, which is sintered titanium blade. So the blade is actually a titanium blade. It has a mixture of some sort of ceramic in the titanium that makes it able to hold an edge supposedly for a long time. Now, I have my doubts on that, and I want to be clear. I'm still in the process of testing this metal. And also with the terrain knives. Those are coming up very soon. I think it's all next week. I have all testings planned for different steels and things like that. So testings are coming soon. But this is going to be about this knife because I'll be honest, I made the video about it. I really liked it in the video, but then right afterwards, within like a day or two of having this, listen to this. The blade has the worst blade rock I've ever felt. The titanium frame lock is not moving, but there's a lot of room in between the blade and the lock bar. Now, of course, I can fix it, and if you guys ever have this problem, or if you guys have light detents or too strong of detents, or ever want to tune your detent or fix blade rock, up and down blade rock towards the lock, check out my how to tune a detent video because I teach you how. So it is an easy fix for me. It's a very easy fix. However, it happened so fast, and like the way it happened is just really weird, and like how much it's gotten. So I can tell if I put pressure on the lock bar that it goes away. So I know I can get it to go away, but then it has a little bit of stick. So I know after that, because of the titanium blade, titanium here, it's got a steel lock bar insert. So because of the steel on titanium, which almost doesn't make sense, right? Because this is a ceramic titanium blade. We have a steel lock bar insert in this titanium scale. So now it's steel on titanium instead of titanium on titanium. Anyways, I don't know. It's weird. And it feels so janky now. It makes me not trust the knife at all, how fast this happened. I'm not saying anything bad about the company. I'm particularly talking about my example. The action's great. I do really like the way the detent is tuned, and, the reverse flick is great. So there's a lot of great things about this, but man, the fit and finish just, kind of took a turn after my video. So, we'll see in the future. Maybe if I tune the lock bar up, maybe it'll get better. But I have a feeling that it's going to get better, but then it'll have lock stick, and then it'll eventually just probably come back pretty quick. Okay, so I actually took it apart really quick. I'm going to attempt to fix it. I'm going to push the lock bar. Ooh, yeah, see, that bent real easy. So you want to be careful. This feels like soft titanium, so this isn't even like hard titanium. I've never pushed a titanium lock bar that was that easy. So I want to be very careful with my next moves. Usually it's a lot more difficult, and it also gives it moves a lot less. Like this is obviously soft, and because titanium is supposed to have very, very good memory, meaning like wherever it's bent to, it's going to stay bent like that. That's why it works good for lock bars, because you can bend it back and forth and it'll just continue to stay strong. But now let's put this thing back together really quickly and see how it does. Okay, so all in all now, the action is really good. The detent is nice and strong. Very, very good action. The drop on it is not as smooth, but it's still pretty smooth. But we have serious lock stick now. You can see how far the lock bar traveled over. And yeah, pretty significant lock stick. So, you know, I hate the thought that I either got to deal with lock stick or blade rock. I'd rather just not have either one. So, you know, it's just a lot to deal with. And then the T6. T6 is giving me issues. This is why I hate T6s. This one was giving me an issue. Finally got this one in. This one stops right there. Neither I got to choose to screw it in tighter and strip out the screw, or two, leave it hanging out. I've messed with it, and it's just giving me so many issues. And this is why I say use T8s. Don't use T6s, because you'll run into issues like this, and then you'll strip it out very easily. T8s don't strip out as easily as T6s. I don't think T6s should even belong on any knives. Is it that much more money to use T8s when they're so much better? Anyways, but all in all, you know, just serious lock stick now, but it did fix it. So, and, you know, in most cases when you do that trick, it'll work without creating a bunch of lock sticks. So this is because of the blade material. Anyways, let's get to the next one. Next, the Kaiser hiccup. So the Kaiser hiccup, I actually like this knife quite a bit. I love the type of front flipper it has, how the jimping was all the way up and down. It's a rounded front flipper. It's really easy to use, very, very snappy and fidgety. Then you have the hole deployment or thumb stud, and you can take off the thumb stud if you just want to use the hole, but you can use them both if you want. I think that's awesome, and I'll be honest, I don't give this knife enough credit. I haven't featured it enough. I've had it in maybe two videos, and I haven't said like the greatest things about it, probably not even as much as it deserves. So, you know, here it is. 154 CM blade steel, really, really nice micarta, reversible deep carry clip. I think it has T6. Okay, so it does have T6 hardware, so that's a knock on it. And the sharpening choil and plunge grind isn't the best, but the ergos are good. I love the type of blade shape it has. It has a very versatile blade shape. It's going to work in different grips. And yeah, I think I should have gave this one a little bit more credit than I probably did. Something about it just doesn't speak to me, and I can't put my finger on it. I really can't, even though, you know, in practice, this is a great knife, and I do like it quite a bit. I've spine whacked it too, you know, not saying button locks are supposed to be able to withstand a lot of damage or anything, or withstand a lot of pressure on the spine, but, you know, I did try it out, and it did pass, but I don't know. I guess, I don't know how I feel. It just doesn't appeal to me very much, but I like it though, and I think it's done very, very well, but something about it just doesn't speak to me as much as other knives. Next, Sativian. Now, obviously this is only one Sativian, but I'm not even going to say the name of it because this is going to account for a bunch of Sativians. So one, Sativian does make some really good, very, very budget-friendly knives. Right? Very, very budget friendly, and they're actually pretty good. Then they have their ones that are a step up, which use premium materials. Now, to me, I don't think I haven't tried their frame locks yet, which I want to, but I've tried dozens of their models, so I've tried a lot of their knives. But there are a few that I think maybe if I tried, I might get a different opinion on them, especially their titanium frame lock models. But as far as these budget titanium models where it's a steel liner and you have titanium and then carbon fiber, I'm not a big fan of them. They're very well done. This one has a great detent, beautiful polished Damascus. I think that's gorgeous, and I think it's a VG10 Damascus or an AUS 10 Damascus, I think. But anyways, the point is that I think they're like $60 something. I just don't see the money, to be honest. I understand we have titanium, but what do we have? We have a titanium milled pocket clip and this, you know, this little cutout piece that's just like an overlay. It's not a real bolster. It's still steel liners. We have a titanium backspacer. I just don't think you have a lot of value here. Obviously, the materials go up, but the build quality has not. This feels just like a lot of their budget knives, which, don't get me wrong, their budget knives are great for the price, right? So for $30 or less, the knives are great. But when you take a knife's quality of around $30 or less, and then you put it into a $60 knife because you changed around some materials without increasing the the quality, then I just don't see the value, right? Like, obviously, I know the money's going to go up a little bit, but not double the price. So let me talk about some things I'm talking about. So one, there's no access to the lock bar. It's just steel liners. This would be better if it was a titanium bolster lock, right? I know the price would probably be a little bit higher in that case, but shred carbon fiber, not the best carbon fiber. I'm personally, this is very subjective, but I'm not a fan of this shred carbon fiber, so it kind of makes it look a little bit more cheaper to me. The action is great, but you can't even use the hole deployment. You just can't. It's a polished blade, so like it's too slick and it's too tight inside there. The detent is great, but it's just the little tiny details that stand out to me. I do like the sharpening tool and plunge grind, so I'll give them credit for that. But the shadow boxed look on top of these steel liners, the steel liners feel very cheap. They're very thin, very flimsy. Like I said, take this off and put different materials on here. This is a $20 knife, right? Because of these steel liners. They're very cheap liners. They're punched out of a machine. Like, they're not forged in any way. Not saying they have to be. I'm just saying, like, it's a very, very cheap process and a way to make the knife. And then you have the titanium and carbon fiber overlays. But to me, I don't see them being a great product, you know, just increasing the couple materials on it without increasing the build quality and the fit, the finish, and all of that stuff. Next is the Buck Sprint Ops, I think the name of this one is. So this does have a lot of different versions. This one is the version in S30V, but it also comes in, I think, S45VN. Maybe MagnaCut too. I'm not positive on that, but I know it does come in other materials. But this has the Brian Nadeau detent nub, which I think is awesome. I love seeing Buck do more or do new things that's that we like to see, right? Good action. This is probably the best action Buck I've ever tried, aside from the Buck Marksman, which was really, really good. I love the Buck Marksman, but they discontinued it. So this has super snappy action from the detent nub. Very comfortable flipper tab. You can easily do a push button. Yeah, you can easily fail it. It's not as good as maybe a real Brian Nadeau, but it's still really, really good. Access to the lock bar is, it's okay. Now, so there's a lot to like here, but then there's also a lot to not like. Let me explain. So while they did a great detent, great action, great blade material, and I'm sure a good heat treat because it's a Boss heat treat, micarta scales, it feels cheap. Again, like we were talking about before over here, it feels like a $20 knife with, you know, good steel. That's what it feels like. Even the micarta is poor quality. This is not USA micarta, and this is a USA made knife. So, and maybe it is USA micarta, but in that case, it's crappy USA micarta. I don't like it. I don't like this micarta at all. I think it's poor quality. Number two, the liners are just a basic steel liners, like nothing special about it. You know, something you would see in a $10 knife. Sharpening tool and plunge grind is horrible. It's like, I don't know why they cannot. I don't know what's up with Buck and their plunge grinds and sharpening tools, but they can't get it for the life of them. They can't get a good plunge grind to save their life. I don't know why. Even with the Buck Marksman, they put the edge right behind the plunge grind. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Anyways, it's almost like no Buck has a good sharpening tool or plunge grind. Maybe there is some. I'm obviously joking. But I don't like that. I would rather see, you know, especially from a company with such a reputation and such a long history, at this point they should know how to do sharpening tools, right? Next, the geometry of the blade is, you know, even though it's a hollow grind, it's a shallow hollow, and it is kind of thick geometry, especially for a handle like this. They put the clip on the spine, which is the dumbest place to ever put the clip, because right here is where your palm wraps around the handle, right? So that clip is just killing your hand. You can see actually an indentation right there. That's from the clip. So when I bear down or I'm slicing with this thing, you can see it kills the hand. So things like that just make it to where it's like, this doesn't feel premium. This doesn't feel like a $150 USA made knife. I love that it's USA made, but I just wish they would step up the damn quality a little bit. Give me something to work with. Give me something to be proud of, right? And I feel like it's very little things, like good geometry, plunge grind and sharpening choil, right? Put the clip in a place that's not uncomfortable in the hand. Decent quality micarta. Let's say if you left the materials the exact same, you could still massively improve this by doing little tiny details. A little bit better lock bar access, even though it's not bad. I don't want to make it seem like the lock bar access is bad, but if it was a little bit better, good sharp control plunge grind, maybe a broader hollow grind, center of the clip. They did inset the liners, which I do like, so I'm going to give them credit for that. But just little things like that would massively improve this design. But you could also go even a little bit further, and do even more. Anyways, I like the knife a lot. I'm rooting for Buck so much. I know they have it in them, and I know they can do it. I want to see them just knock things out of the park. I want nothing more than to cheer from the rooftops and just scream about Buck, but I wish they'd give me something to work with. Next is the CIVIVI Turex. Now this one, I gotta say, I like this a lot. Like a lot. I think they did an incredible job with this. This is a great example, and maybe the other companies can take notes, a great example of how to do a knife. Beautiful drop point blade. I think it's Nitro V. Yep, Nitro V steel. Great budget steel. 14C28N, Nitro V, and 154CM are great budget knife steels. Then we have a steel frame lock with an overlay. Good access to the lock bar. Very smooth on the drop. Fantastic detent in action for the thumb studs or the flipper tab. Nice, strong lockup. Deep carry clip that is reversible and adjustable. Now, the ergos is amazing. It's slim, compact, a little bit weighty because it is steel, but it slices really good. It sharpens really good. Sharpening tool and plunge grind is okay. Not the greatest, but it's a lot better than some, so I'm okay with it. I have sharpened my other one, and it's sharpened up really, really good. It takes an incredible edge. The downside, though, the price is a little bit hefty on this one. So this is where it's like, is it worth it? Not really. Not when you look at their other models and what they have from CIVIVI, because CIVIVI has a lot of great knives in the $65 range. They're wanting $105 for this. But then you come over here, 14C, beautiful micarta steel liner. So this is a steel frame, but still, same material. Beautiful clip inset, T8 hardware all the way around, multiple deployments, and this is $65. $65. Where does the $40+ come in right here? $40. Where does the $40 come? I don't see it. It's a steel frame lock, right? I have steel frame locks that are $20, $30. I mean, that are good. So you can't say that the steel is what did it, because it's just a steel frame lock. It's not titanium, right? So I just, let's say it was going to be a little bit more, not 105, maybe like 75 bucks. I could see that maybe. I'd be happy with it in that price range. But as great as this knife is, which it is, it's a great knife. I love the knife. The price just, man, it makes it not worth it to most people. People can't justify it when you have a bunch of other knives that are just as amazing for $40 less, if not more. But anyways, just a quick talk about a bunch of knives and, my actual thoughts on them. Now, I could go all day with knives like this about what I really think about them. I try to review and test knives and feature knives and talk about them in an honest way, and also in a way to where I'm not looking at it specifically just for myself. I want to review knives for you, not for me. But I still do come into this a little bit and my actual opinions on the things. But I like to review a knife for what it's for, right? What kind of knife is it? and what is this knife made for, and what is it designed to do, and does it do it well? And then for the person that wants that knife, is it good? Anyways, there you guys go. I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.